Kalika. Welcome to another video from the Critics Collective. Hit the subscribe button, like, follow, and comment for more so you can get it off the backboard, nothing but net, and posterize the competition. What am I talking about? It could be beginner's luck. It could be a fluke, but don't call it a comeback because we didn't lose one game this whole season. And not everybody wins. Not everybody's out here winning. It happens. Now, we went against a team that I think was 92 overall. They had way more players that were better on the starter. I think their best players were like 105, 102, something like that. And our best player was LeBron James at 99, I believe. And we picked him up right either starting the playoffs or the first round or two of the playoffs. But anywho, I'm going to go ahead and let you know kind of what we're working on. This was the finals, respect to the team I played, but it was decisive. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. I was there for both games, made some adjustments. If you look at the our closest game, probably the closest game we've had, that would have made me probably drastically change my style. But I did make some changes in the finals, different than what I was doing in this game. I made changes going in the regular season. So I made changes, about 3 changes and 1 significant change of the whole team coming into here. So I'm going to give you my keys to drive away with the victory. And if it was one of those sport programs like Fox Sports or Bally's or ESPN, NBC, CBS, we don't discriminate here. They would be like, hey, Ron, the Dad Panther, how did you do it? How did you get the win? How did you do it? What are the keys to drive away with the championship? And I'll say, hey, thank you about that. Like, it's brought to you by the Critics Collective. Well, this is what you have to do. I'm going to give you the keys to drive away with the championship. The first thing you want to do is the championship starts in the off season. So right now we're currently in the off season. If I go to the office, it's going to say, hey, look, your season is done. Okay. If you go back to the beginning of the season, it's no different than here. At some point, they're going to be blank days. That's your time to get ready. Now, if you're new, all you're going to do is go to league. You're going to go ahead to register, and you're going to register your season. You can register right before, and it's going to tell you how many days you have or time that you have for the next season, and it's going to give you a choice. There's an hour-long video that breaks this down more point blank. You got your team, you got your style, right? The next thing I would recommend doing is you're going to go and you're going to take a look at your lineup. You're going to look at your lineup, and you're going to create your lineup based off of your play style, right? You can kind of go with the meta. Right now, the meta, I believe, is like screens and three-pointer. It changes if you're playing the game. If you're playing the game, it's something completely different, right? But I feel like you still need to know what your roster is, what kind of play style you like. For me, managing, I know what roster I want. I know what play style I want. Damn it, I know. So once I created what I wanted, which was I wanted to shoot threes and I wanted to focus on rebounds. That's it. I want to shoot threes. I want rebounds. I'm going to live by the 3-ball, die by the 3-ball. No Diddy. Pause. Now, once I set that up, then my next thing is it's not a team of stars. It is a balanced roster from the starters to the bench. If it is not, we will lose. The reason why I say that is looking at teams that I went up against, they would have a good first quarter, poor second quarter, good third quarter, poor fourth quarter. The reason why is your lineup can't balance a steady consistency of good playing. That's all it is. And so I would take advantage of that. I would take my starters. Let's say I had 4 top starters. I would put 2 in the first quarter, then 2 in the third or the second, and I would keep alternating. So I had 2 good players on that team. And then once I built out that roster based off my blueprint, I was able to consistently have what I like to think was a good team for all 4 quarters. Now, once you get your lineup set up, another thing that you can do is if you go into your tactics right here, it goes deeper to what I'm saying. You have your starting lineup, and if you look at it, I made it where my second quarter, my third and my fourth have the same feel that I want to do, which gives them some time off, brings in a new crew that's able to do it. Again, keeping true to the fact that I want to be able to shoot the ball and get rebounds. That's it. Now, the fourth quarter, this is interesting. The fourth quarter is me telling the game, hey, look, I've got some players that play both ways. I don't care if I get penalized for this player not playing the center position, but I'm hopefully in a position where I have nothing but shooters. I got the shooters. I got the ops on the court in the fourth quarter. And that's what I'm looking for, because again, players with the higher stamina have greater shot tendencies. So again, it's RNG and you're trying to set it up. Now, if you want to do it on stamina or turn this off, that's up to you. But this is what worked for me. In the same thing, team, go into your offensive and change your settings. Go into your defensive settings. If you're curious how this works, I have another video that goes into it, in my opinion, and tells you, and I'll show you what I did and why I did it. There's blogs, all this stuff. If you know the answer, you know something better than I know, which is fine. I'm a humble man. Be humble. Let me know, or let somebody else know in the comments. They may be picking up this game, They may pick up this game after a year or two from now, and the game is done an update, but the goal stays the same. The vibe stays the same. You know the vibes. After you get the roster set up, then you go into your training. That's key number 2, training. Here's your training here. The highest it goes is 200. That's the highest. Now, 3, if not 3.5 hours ago, not years, this was at 200. So it lets you know how it trickles down. So you can max it out at 200 when you're about to have a game, and you should be good for the 2 games that you play, because normally it's 2 games a day. I think every 6 hours interval, whatever, that you'll play. If you have this maxed, it's a 10% increase on your stats. If you're in game, showing up to the game, it's a 5% increase. If this is at 0, it's a 30% decrease of your stats. The goal is to give your team the best shot, the best chance to win. Okay? That's just how it goes. When it comes to the training, you can come in here and you can do the combined ones, or you can focus on your offense and defense. And then you also have the hard mode, and you have your max. They're going to pull resources or stamina at higher intervals. What I did was I just did combine. I did the ones that I want to do, and then I would do them 11 times. I only did them 3 times in the season. The start of the season, the start of the playoffs, the start of the finals. That's it. That's what I did this season. Now, it's going to show you right here your history. So if you found one that worked for you, you saw the numbers moving, you can just duplicate the same thing. Like I said, you do it once, it's going to ask you in the choice, do you want to do it again or do it 10 times? Same thing that she told me. I said 10 times. So we went ahead and we hit repeat, not this button, but you'll see it when you get in there and you're good to go. And then I did it for the other one. So that's me showing you that works. Now, keep in mind, if you're doing training and it's like, oh, it's giving you this error saying select a player, pick a player, it's this button right here. It'll say something like no one's selected. Select all, select one, do your starters, your bench, 3-point specialist, whatever it is, dial that in the way you need to. Once their stamina is done, it's going to ask you to go ahead and ramp that up, get that refilled. All right, moving on to the next key. Next key would be game planning. It just goes right back into the team thing I said, making sure that your offensive, defensive is set up and you're good to go. Because that's kind of in there and that's good to go, I'm going to head back to that first key that I said, roster, because there's a glaring thing I missed, which was the transfer. It is a part of your roster. When you're looking at, it's going to reset right now. When you're looking at this, you're trying to only pick players that fit your scheme, fit the scheme of the meta, whatever. You don't want a player just because they're your favorite player. I know that sounds like, come on now, you're gonna get somebody and they're just not going to be very good. Most of the players on here are going to be about the same. I'll find out next season when the tier changes, if it puts you in a more competitive or higher tier, or I see different players that have a higher benchmark. But if I go in here, he should be in the 60. Yep, see, mind you, my team is 88. So I'm not seeing anybody on that high level. And we went from 60, late mid 60s, early 70s. You went through a full season and they went up 20% on the ratings. So kind of keep that in mind, right? You're looking to make sure that their attributes fit what you're looking. Gold, another video that I did shows what the breakdown, but gold is what you're looking for. It just means that this will grow faster than this would. That's all it means. Gold or no gold just means how fast it grows. The same thing with this. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for skills. How close are the skills? Did you get some skills unlocked? Are they skills that are too far away? See, unlocks at 80, current 70. I told you it's a 20% that you gain overall, but that's not the individual skill. So you need to make sure that, hey, look, am I going to unlock this, or do I have some skills I'm not going to obtain? Badges. Do you get badges? What's the requirement? You have to look at that player before you spend anything. Now, it may make sense to drop a few here because the player you really want is down here. If it fits your scheme, focus on the scheme. Look at that. Dunk, block. They're going to go faster. It doesn't mean anything else more than that. Mid-range. If that fits that player and it fits your scheme, look at that. Very high. You're good there. You get a badge that's on there. You've got some skills that are on here. So like I said, you're trying to find what fits. Do not spend too much of this, because this is really important for you to balance out your team. If you come in here and have a bidding war, right, and you bid 40, right, you're not going to have enough. I can't tell you the right number. Don't get caught up in the hype. The more of this resource that you have, because you're going to have tons of this for the most part, it seems like. The more you have of this, you only get 3 of it daily, and then you get some for some challenges. Just keep that in mind, right? Just keep it in mind that you're going to save this, find the right players that fit your scheme, bomb. Now, to add a little bit more on the difficulty curve, which is a really cool mode that they have here, you also have this mode in general, because it's like a GM mode. I wish they would add more features. I don't know what's coming up. Again, it's only year 1 in the global, I believe. But this right here is a scout. I feel like the scouting is the best spot to get players once you have used the auction to have a balanced first team. When you're trying to fill your second team, you're trying to think about the postseason, you're thinking about ranked, you're coming in here and you're grabbing players here. Why? Let's continue with the magic of editing. Okay, so when you look at your scouted players, right? So you're in transfer, you've auctioned the fill in your team, you're doing your ranked matches, and when you're doing ranked, you're seeing where you kind of having holes, things that are like, what's making your team not be able to come back or keep the lead or stay competitive. But you save these, right? So the game, especially if you're new, it's going to give you a bunch of these. Save them and then wait, because what happens is you're going to auction off 40, 60, 75 like it's nothing when you really think about what you spent by the time you get to the end of the season. And if you would have just, like I said, been a little bit more cautious in the auction and then come to something like the scout, you can get players that are going to really move the needle for your team. Now you have player spotlight. That's going to rotate every 3 days, give or take. You can use one person on your team to pull somebody in. But I feel like you have to save long term. Every time you win the championship, and that's just if you win, you get 100 of these. So you need to win the championship 3-4 times to get a player that's going to be like, wow, this is a really good player. But it does. It really moves the needle on your player. So that's something I'm thinking about doing, not picking up another scout, and just save for the spotlight player and see what happens. I don't know. We'll see. And then be there and ranked. So when you go to the office, you have this ranked mode. When the season's going on, you can do ranked. Do ranked because it's a really good way to, it's random. It's just like you're going against teams on the season for the most part. You can find out where the holes are at. You can find out what you need to work on, your substitution. You can mess up your roster a bit and see what flows and what works, what doesn't. If you're winning your ranked matches without you watching the match, again, that 5% increase, that's a good look for you. So just something to keep in mind. Going through it again, your roster, get your roster together, know what you're going to set up in your roster. In transfer mode, use the auction to fill in your team, but make sure you're paying attention to what that person, that team is. Don't grab a bunch of people who are 60, 63, maybe go a little higher. It's going to make your overall team. Does the person play multiple positions? Do they have 3 or 4 years in their contract? Do they have an extra skill? What's their attributes? Do they have anything gold that's going to increase faster and have a faster growth bonus on it as well? Do they have any badges? Are they close to badges before you throw 30 and 40 at it? Because you're going to start bidding with people and it's going to throw things off. Now, I'll try to come back and do an update later, because right here it says that players picked up through these ways, like during the playoffs, right? It says will retain their power when advancing to the next with no contract time or fitness. I'll have to see how that looks, because the player that we picked up on the team, that was LeBron right here. That was this LeBron. So we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, he's proud of his performance. He just won a championship, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's the 24th. So right now it's those 3 days after you play the last game that the tallying is done for this season. And so I don't know. I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool. I wish it was more in depth and stuff. It's gotten me wanting to look at sport games that have management in it, just to kind of see what's going on, making me think about playing 2K and like that. But to each his own. You could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here. If you know something about this mode that's going to help somebody else, you know, put in the comments. You also have the mode in here, the Destiny mode, Dynasty, Destiny. You have the Dynasty mode where you got 3v3. You could do the 5-a-day auto if you like to play autoplay. And then you also have in here as well the 5-on-5 full court, which you can change the view and go through it, but you can do 5 for that. So if you like to do auto like I do, because I'm doing other stuff, like right now I'm playing 3 games on 3 other monitors and watching streaming shows. If you're like me and like to have a bunch of mental tabs open, that's another good auto mode to do. So you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here. Until next time, click allow.